Hello my lovely, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And today I have another unboxing of the Alexandra Renke CreativeBox, which arrived surprisingly already. So here goes. Opening the package, and it's very light this time, so I'm wondering what's inside. Of course, the white tissue paper, as usual. And the paper looks familiar, but first of all, let's have a look at the stamp. Or let me take out the paper first, make it easier. Definitely not as much paper as last time, and there's a sequence that was in the box. So let's see the stamp, focus. And yeah, it has 100% right at the top. Focus now, and there's a Chinese symbol, or Japanese, is it? And there's an example, and the stamp is called 100% focus. Right. Confidence, super. Energy, pure. Okay, and you can make a bold card with that. And here's the die. It has some badges that cuts out the positive, I guess, and inner circle, if you know what I mean. And here's the example, and the die is also called focus. And here are the sequins, as I found a bunny already. They do look familiar, but there are some other ones in there, not just the bunnies. I see a see-through flower, or I don't know, we'll see. I'll have to unpack that later. Let's get on with the strings. This time they are wrapped around some cards, and there's an elastic in the Alexandra Renke red, and a lovely bookmark. Oh, this is so cute. The ladybird. Some Easter nests is what I would call them, I guess. We've had those before, previously. At least the paper. And there's some sheep and a branch of a forsythia. It's quite nice. I know I've seen that before, some years ago, and some little fingerprint bunnies and an Easter card or bookmark with an egg on it and saying Ostern in German, and some finger mark bunnies and some Alexandra Renke gold leaves. I may say I have not seen them before, neither have I seen this. Some ducks and some eggs in gold. for Easter. That's coming up. And now for the thread or ribbon. No, it's not ribbon. Yarn, whatever it's called. This one is in light green, the last one, and it has a wire in it. And the red one is elastic, and this green one is just cotton, and it seems waxed, but it's not elastic, it's quite sturdy thread. Now for the paper, and this was a paper that was in the Oriental line, I think, and yeah, it's very beautiful. The paper number is 10/16/75. And here we have some paint marks, I would say, dots. And the paper number is 10/16/94. And some leaves in a beige pink, very light rosé color or rose color maybe. And the paper number here is 10/18/50. And here we have a green paper that's kind of square lines on it. And the paper number is 10/18/31. And here's a paper that I have not had before, but I know it's from an older line that I really loved, with those watercolor flowers. And the paper number here is 10/19/62. And a paper from the same line, and I may have had this paper, I'm not 100% sure. It says Endless Memories, and the paper number is 10/19/64. Up next are some exotic leaves, perhaps. That's what I would describe them like. And the colors, as you can see, are in grey and red and beige. And the paper number here is 10/21/51. Some squiggly lines. They remind me of topographical lines. And in red, pink and beige. The paper number is 10/21/77. Some uneven circles, and they are in light pink. And the paper number is 10/21/80. Up next is, I think, from the summer papers last year, a flower on a pink base background, and the paper number is 10/22/40. And here's calm paper in an orange tone or salmon color, I would say. And the paper number is 20/002. That's a very short number. Maybe they published that before I received the box. And here's another. It doesn't look like the calm papers. And it's in green and white or light green. The paper number here is 20/003. So I took my profile shot, and then I noticed that this paper has a reverse side, and so does this one. And yeah, it looks like a calm paper on the back side, and so does this one. That's very nice and will come in quite handy at some point, I'm sure. Today I will make a different card though, and here I'm showing you the number again, just to make sure that we note the numbers down of the double-sided papers, and I will get on with my card. So from an A4 size sheet of Hahnemühle drawing paper, I'm cutting off just a smidge, and I will cut out 14.5 by 14.5 size card. So here I'm cutting the long ways and then scoring in the middle. Somehow my paper trimmer doesn't really cut so well anymore. I don't know why. It's not new, but it's not that old. So I'll have to see how it will cut different paper. So now I'm cutting the front panel of the same size to the card, and that seems to go okay. So I'm going to use the stamp, of course, and this gives me the opportunity to make a bold looking card. And I'm fitting my panel on this sticky mat from Silhouette. It's an old mat that I cannot use in the Silhouette anymore, but it holds the card stock or the card enough for stamping if I use the magnets to hold the paper. And I didn't film the first color. I used the Distress Oxide inks from Tim Holtz, and I thought this next color would go in the line because I wanted to make a gradient, but it's slightly too pink. But I only realized this after having stamped the whole thing and haven't taken the card out, so couldn't stamp white over it if this is what you could do to lighten a color. I really had to put some muscle into it because the stamp is quite large, and so the paint or the ink wouldn't go onto the paper so easily. So of course in between I'm cleaning the stamp and then moving the paper and looking from right above to make sure the adjustment is not in focus but in line or exact, to be honest. And I cut a lot of this footage out. Also I placed the magnet on the top left where I couldn't press down the lid properly, so I moved it here. And here you can see how patchy it comes out at first. So stamped it again and it's perfect. The word focus is leaning in the end a little bit, but it can't be helped, and it's handmade, so it does have a little flaw in it. So it's not an electronically placed word or sentiment. And I really love the font and the boldness of it. By the way, these stamps and dies are not online yet. At the time of making this voiceover. And last but not least, I'm going to stamp the outline onto the last word in order to make it focus. I'm using the Stays On ink for this because I happen to have it handy, so it's not black, but it is quite dark. And now I'm cutting the panel, and I have decided, because of the shape of the word is not 100% square now, I will make another panel with the first color that I used to use behind this card on the final layout. And here you are, that's the card I mentioned. So I'm gluing all of this together with my Nouveau white glue, and also attaching this panel to the card in the same way. And now I'm looking for embellishments, and the background of the flower paper happened to be the same color as the first one I used in the word focus, and I cut some flowers out of it and shaping it a little bit with my ball tool. And now I'm looking for some sequins, and I found these Sakura shaped sequins and used them on the panel. And now for the die that we received. I cut it apart and used the die that says yes, and here I'm using the same Stays On ink to dye my card. Cut it with my Sizzix fold away. I am going to cut the outside of this circle with one of my Hero Arts infinity dies, and also cut a matching circle from white paper, which I'm going to color with the same tattered rose oxide ink that I used for the background and the first word, and place it on top of the card using some fun foam to give it some dimension. And there you have the finished card. So thank you for staying with me. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Thank you so much for watching. Do take care and do what you love. Ta-da!